It's time to mind your business with me, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in to find out how to mind your business with BEDC, special guest entrepreneurs, industry experts, and more. Brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda business starts here. So welcome to Mind Your Business.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So you are Joyce Hayward. You are founder of Fusion for Business.
Yes.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey, the business, what you do. But before we get started, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I am Joyce Hayward, initially from Maryland. I call myself a business ballerina because I started out dancing on stages as a little girl and always loved making people happy. And I realized that has translated into loving to help people smile.
Okay.
And so even though people think, well, how does that tie to accounting? I have found that over my business career that's what I like to do. So I started out getting a degree in accounting. I was one of those people that loved accounting in high school. I took a course by happenstance in the business class because I was on the college track. But I said, let me take this business class just to see what it was like. And I was the only one that got straight A's.
Okay.
Excuse me. And so I was like, okay, why am I understanding this debit and credit thing?
Yeah.
And I said, well, let me see about doing this in college. I said I can get it done in 4 years and get out. And so got a degree, worked for public accounting for a bit, did auditing, and they said that we were the people that shoot the wounded. And so I said, I don't like being an auditor. And so I realized then went into banking, and I realized accounting could take you into so many different areas because you know business.
Yes.
And so from working in banking, I started dealing with internal audit first and then worked in private banking and then worked in public lending or commercial lending. And I loved helping business owners.
Okay.
And I found doing a lot of SBA loans in the States that businesses would come to me not knowing how to put their packages together. And that's how I started my business because I realized that there were so many, especially black business owners that never had a business, didn't have family business. So they needed to know how they could start a business, what they could do to put a package together so they could pass the loan committee. And so I had these, I call them lost Larrys, that used to come into me and I would help them on the side while I'm doing the banking business get their loan packages together. And from that, I started my business because I was working so many hours outside of work. That
You're like, hey, wait a minute. Maybe I can turn this into a full-time thing.
Exactly. And then, so got married to a wonderful Bermudian man and moved to Bermuda and worked for government for a bit, worked for an international law firm, and realized that entrepreneurial bug was still biting me.
Yes.
So I decided to go back into business, this time a little different because I was pretty much doing reviews and audits and books. And so this time I realized I really wanted to help those business owners, business owners that I watched just didn't know what to do.
Right.
And so I started business again. Before it was Joyce Chesley CPA, now it's Fusion for Business.
Right.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about the types of support that you provide for businesses.
I love to help business owners that need that next level.
Okay.
So I do help some people that start up, but I find that my sweet spot are businesses that have been in business for a bit and need consulting, need a partner, need someone that doesn't talk accounting.
Okay.
I am not the person that's going to say your debits and your credits say this and you know your metrics and I give them that, but in a way that they understand it. Exactly. My clients, the ones that I find that I'm most connected with are those that find that they, like one calls me their Mary Poppins because it's like they say I take a spoonful of sugar with the medicine that's going down.
Right.
And they're because it's a school and when I have to talk to the parents, I just smile and let them know you owe your tuition. So I really love partnering with the businesses and finding that helping them meet the needs that they have. I have a client that bought a business and didn't know what to do. She was always an employee. She's a dentist, and she became a business owner.
Right.
I love helping people transform from employee to business owner to how do they make their business work?
Right.
What do they need to do to take it to the next level? What do they need to do to expand? Do they need to hire another employee? So those are the kind of services. I love to be an external CFO to people to help them take their businesses to where they want to go.
I love that because a lot of the business owners, like you said, that especially the ones that we see, are very passionate about whatever it is that they do,
Yes.
about the products that they make, the services that they provide. But when it comes to the accounting part, they don't really, you know how you just bury your head in the sand?
Yes.
And you're like, if I don't
Yes.
think about it, then
It'll
it'll
go
go
away.
away. But that's not how it works.
It is not how it works. They do find that out that, this is still a problem.
I need to pay attention. So I think the fact that you're able to kind of break it down into layman's terms
Yes.
so that they can
Yes.
understand it and understand the importance of it
Yes.
is very beneficial. Because if you don't understand the numbers and the finances, there's no way that your business is going to be able to grow.
Exactly. And that's what I find most often, that the clients that I love, the things I love to do,
Yeah.
we have people that do the books, because I don't mind doing the bookkeeping, but I don't like it like I used to. I used to like things to balance debits
Yes,
and credits.
yes.
But that gets us to the place where I can talk to the clients, because they don't care about, and that's the things that they don't really want to deal with, that debit and credit stuff.
Yeah.
They just want to know, am I profitable? What do I price? Am I not pricing enough?
Yeah.
Am I paying too much? Why?
Right.
What is happening?
Right.
That's where I love to step in to help them know how to move their business forward.
Okay.
Or how to keep it.
Right.
You know, so many businesses fail after starting, and that's why I wrote the book Profit Freedom, because so many businesses fail after getting started because they don't know how to keep it going. They have a great idea, they are passionate about what they do. It's like a baby that they birthed, and then it's like, how do I feed it?
Yeah.
How do I keep it going? What does it need? It's got a fever. I don't know.
So what is the number one mistake that you see consistently across all the industries?
People mixing their personal and their business together and not separating it. And that's number one. And then not pricing properly.
Okay.
Not pricing for profit.
So when you just break it down, so when you say mixing personal and business, give us an example so people can get it and understand.
And understand. Have a separate business bank account from your personal bank account.
Right.
Because what I find is quite often people want to save money.
Yeah.
And so they use their personal bank account to start their business. And then they don't know what they're really spending, because they're buying things personally and they're buying things for the business. And they don't realize that they're losing money because they keep spending money out of their personal bank account for their business expenses. So they're getting money in and they're constantly spending money out, and they don't always know.
Right.
Or they're spending money that they should not, or they're not tracking.
Correct.
And they don't have a way to easily see what they're making money on and how they're making money or not.
Right.
And so that's one of the key things that separate the business. And it does cost a little bit more to have a separate business bank account. But even if it's too personal, yes.
Because I can imagine from the bookkeeping perspective, like when they needed, like you said, when I finally need to go to the bank to get that loan, or somebody wants to invest, now I have to put everything in order.
Exactly.
And so now you have to pay someone
to unravel. That's harder than just starting it out right to begin with.
Yeah.
And what I find too is even if people aren't going to get an investor or going to BDC or going to the bank, that they want to know how their business is doing. And they can't really tell.
Right.
They think they're okay. But they don't really know.
Yes.
Because they don't have the numbers to figure it out, really.
And I think that is extremely important, which I think what you're doing is extremely important, because sometimes people think the perception is that they are successful and that everything is going well because they see the money coming in. But like you said, if it's not separated, then you really don't have a clear indication about what you're spending to run and operate your business. And then what's coming in, do you have any money left, like profit? Because there's break even.
Yes. Like I'm making just enough
to cover and then there's the profit, which is what everybody is striving to make, right?
And then what you're supposed to pay payroll tax, and how do you prove to the tax commissioner what
you're actually paying yourself or your employees?
Exactly. And that's the thing that I find so often, is that people just don't know what they've spent, and to match that profit with the expenses. And it's, even a lady that's selling cookies, she was selling a lot of cookies, but then she was realizing she was buying butter and vanilla and all these things, and sometimes she'd buy a little something here, a little something there, and she wasn't tracking everything.
Right.
And then the shipping costs, and then the labels, and all the little things that I was like, if you had separated that all, you would see that you're charging too little for your cookies.
Right.
You're losing money on your cookies.
So you're basically working for free.
Yes. She was donating cookies to people.
She was donating cookies to people. Even though they were giving her money, it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough.
And to me, that's amazing. Like, once you are able to help a business owner or entrepreneur understand that, they're like, oh, because we hear all the time, like, the cost of doing business in Bermuda is expensive. It costs a lot to do business here.
Yes.
And so a lot of times when people are starting up, they are consumers or purchasers of products and services. And so they're like, it costs too much. When I start my own business, I'm going to make sure that it doesn't cost that much. And you're like, but you have to factor in what you have to pay to deliver on that product and service. So that's how you set your price.
Exactly. And so many people are, and that's the other thing I find, people, like I said, pricing for profit.
Yeah.
People price based on what they see other people charging.
Right.
Or what they bring in times 2.
Right.
Or 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And it's like you really need to break it down.
Yeah, break it down.
And know that you're breaking
clinical.
Even or not. Yes. And that's where we come in.
That's where you come in.
Yeah.
Love
Exactly.
that. I love that. So let's talk a little bit about when you started. So in my mind, because you're helping all these other businesses get started, you're an expert, right? So when you decided you were going to start your business in Bermuda, what was that like for you? Like, did you experience any challenges? Like, what was the biggest challenge, I guess, that you faced? And what'd you do? How'd you overcome that?
I would say for me, it was making sure I had all the I's dotted and T's crossed, and then finding out the extra little things. So, social insurance and making sure that was set up for the business, and the payroll tax and making sure that was set up, and the health insurance. Because I didn't do as I did in the States, where in the States, I kind of did it as I was working.
Right.
Here, I had stopped a job and started a business.
Right, okay.
And then I realized, you know what? As an accountant and CPA, I needed to make sure I had my license with the the AICPA in the States, but CPA Bermuda. And so it was all those things that I needed to figure out. And then life was different it was like 10 years difference between when I had a business in the States and starting here, actually more than that. And so like 17 years. And so I realized that I needed to do more electronically, and I needed to do more social media types. The way
business was different.
It was very different. And so it was learning those things. And I realized I needed to get a coach. I'm an expert in what I do, but doing the business stuff and partnering with the BEDC and finding where my market was. So that was the other thing, figuring out my ideal client and knowing that it's not everybody and feeling okay with that.
Okay.
So that took me a bit to say, you know what, not everybody's going to be my client. Because, I would go and meet people, and people would introduce me to people, and then I wouldn't hear back from them, and I wouldn't follow up with them. And I said, you know what, I can't chase after businesses and because that's not going to be comfortable for them or me.
Right.
And so from BDC and from working with people and working with coaches, I realized find your sweet spot, find your niche, find what you're good at and what you like to do.
Right.
And so that's the thing that I would say, and realizing that the prices are higher, that I was like, I'm thinking, I'm just going to replace my income.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's not going to be happening right away. But, what can I do to make it livable, comfortable, and enjoyable?
Right. Yeah, I think it's interesting, though, that you had those different experiences to draw on. But the thing that I like that you said is that you also got a coach and a mentor. So you would think, oh, yeah, she already know everything because she's been coaching businesses for I don't know how many years. But I think it is important to recognize what you're good at.
Yes.
And what you need to work on so that you can put somebody or some person, something, some organization in place to build you up in the area that you need support with.
And sometimes you actually don't always know, but you're not Well, and I always believe you always can learn. I want to learn something new every day, even if it's something little.
Right.
You know, I want to learn something new every day. And that's when I realized having a coach, somebody's always doing something you're not doing. And sometimes you don't know what you don't know. I mean, the first time I heard about ChatGPT, I was like, what was that? You know, like, oh my goodness. And so I was like, I want to tell everybody about this. I became an expert because I could tell people, but someone else told me.
Right.
But how would I have known if I wasn't in a group of people who were techies and things like that? So meeting other businesses and connecting with other businesses and always having somebody that is doing something you're not was so important. I found that was really important for, because I'm not just an accountant. And whatever we do, we're not, especially if we're entrepreneurs, we wear multiple hats.
Yes.
And so I'm not just doing accounting. I have to market and lots of other things that I have to do.
Correct. Okay. So now let's talk a little bit about the learning. So I met you a long time ago. So you've worked with BDC, you taught classes for us, you have done other things as well. You were a guest expert for our accelerated program. But this time around, you are actually one of our participants in the accelerated program. Yes. So what I want to understand from you is Enterprise Bermuda Accelerator is a program for businesses that have been around longer than 3 years, have employees, have proven track record of sales, etc. And it creates an opportunity for you to develop a strategic growth action plan. Yes. Now, you've been doing this. You've participated on the guest expert side. Yes. What made you apply to be part of the program?
Well, I have been seeing the people that I've been meeting as I've been doing coming in as a guest expert. And I was like, those cohorts are so important. Having the connections, but also I'm looking at, or I am starting to expand my business and doing some other areas and things. And I said, this would be the perfect thing to do for my business and to get other person's perspectives, because I realize I don't know everything. I don't know everybody in Bermuda. I know a lot of people, but I said this will be another way of connecting with other people in a different way and learning from some experts that are doing growth expansion and business growth expansion. And so I said, to take my business to the next level, how can I get that help? And it's perfect. I'm a great price. People are great. And it's in Bermuda, and that's why I'm expanding in Bermuda. So I'm like, this is wonderful. So,
and I love to hear you say that, because I think sometimes people can think, why would I do that? If I've been a guest expert, people have invited me in to talk to the cohorts. Why would I then, how could I possibly learn anything? So the fact that you don't take that approach, and then you're going in and saying, listen, I'm trying to expand my business and I know that this curriculum will help me do that. I think it's great.
It was perfect. It was perfect. And again, because I believe we can learn from everybody.
Yeah.
And, and I said, well, I may know the accounting side of things, but you never know. I could see something different that to other people are doing, and maybe even offer assistance in that area, because I have definitely met other persons in the course that had questions about that, and in our cohort I was able to explain from my perspective and tell them questions to ask their accountant or make sure they have an accountant or one I'm now assisting in their business.
That's
and
awesome.
So, there's so many different collaborations and networks and things, but I never take that opinion that I know. Yeah. Because I really have found
what you don't know what you don't know.
That right there. You quite often find you don't know when, especially when something goes wrong.
Then you be like, oops. I thought I knew, but now I don't know. Exactly. So what from the program would you say has been most beneficial for you?
I would say the feedback from both the facilitators as well as the cohort, as well as the material. I will say doing the growth action plan was really good for me, because they say the painter's house isn't painted and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It made me take a step back in my own business and do some things that I do for others that I haven't really done for myself. It made me spend the time in my business versus on my business. And even though I think I do things, on my business versus in my business, even though I think I do that, I realize I hadn't done as much of it, and especially in the two areas I'm expanding into. And so it really made me focus on my business and really what I want, what I want to do in these next couple of years. I'm 64. I'm getting to the place where I should be retiring soon. but we never really retire.
No,
What are we
not
just
when
going to do?
What are you going to do next?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
yeah.
how am I going to do it in a way that's going to make sense?
So I think it's really important that you recognized what you needed assistance with. And so going through that program helped you to identify that. And like you said, there are areas within your business that you want to expand into.
Yes.
And so you got a chance to focus on that. And it's funny that you say working on your business as opposed to in it, because you know what's required for that to happen is time.
Absolutely. And excuse me, and the program made me take that time.
Right.
And it's something you schedule. I scheduled every Thursday, whether we were in class or with our cohort, with the CEO groups, I scheduled that time.
Yeah.
And I made sure that I was working on my business in that time. And I began to look forward to it. At first it was, okay, I got to figure out how to do class. I got this and that. Okay, no, I can't meet at this time. But I got to the point where it was like, this is what I do on Thursday afternoon.
Yeah.
This is what I do. And so, and it's going to make me continue to do that more.
I was going to say, you know how you say you form a good habit.
Yes.
I think going forward, it's good to take that time, right?
Yes.
Because it gives you the time to analyze the decisions that you made. Did I make the right decision? Should I be going after this business?
Exactly.
Or should I be refocusing on something else?
Exactly.
And if you don't take that time, you will just be on the hamster wheel.
That's right. Because I'm doing a book and I'm interviewing business owners, and one of the ladies said she doesn't call herself busy because she thinks of that as a hamster on a wheel.
Yeah.
She calls herself productive. She said, when my calendar is full, I'm being productive.
Yes.
People say, oh, you're busy, busy, busy. She said, no, I'm not busy. Hamsters are busy.
Right.
I'm productive. And that's what I take as well, that we can't be busy, busy, busy.
Right.
We have to be productive. And that's how we do have to work on our businesses.
Okay. I think it's a mindset. It sounds like what you're saying.
Yes.
It's how you think about what it is that you're doing and the why.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
yes.
being productive means that there's outcomes that you are achieving. So you're not just going about the day-to-day, doing the thing,
Exactly.
being on the hamster wheel. You have a means to an end. There's a goal at the end of it.
Yes. Absolutely.
And I think that's really key.
It is.
Talk to me about this book. You already wrote one book, right? What's it called? Profit
Freedom.
Profit Freedom.
Yes.
And we talked a little bit about the need to understand that when you have a business, it is to make a profit.
Exactly. And I believe that you should have profit in your business so you can have freedom in your life. You should not always be working. And if you want to, but we should have some freedom. We should have some enjoyment in our lives. But I have decided that, so the backdrop of it is that from doing what I've been doing for so long, I've seen a few things. And being a woman of faith, I have watched my clients get on the hamster wheel. I've watched them, busy business owners, overworking. And so I have my T-shirt over there. I have a T-shirt called Woosah in Bermuda.
Okay.
And I have started another business, a side of Fusion for Business called Rejoice Experiences.
Okay.
So I'll be bringing business owners to Bermuda, busy business owners and faith-based travelers to Bermuda, to Woosah, to relax and retreat. And for U.S.-based persons, it can be a tax deduction because we're going to do some workshops and things. So I have a weekend experience that I plan to do at least once or twice every year.
Okay.
To bring people to Bermuda.
Love that.
The other side of that is we've started a community called Ladies in Faith and Enterprise, or Life. And so the Fusion Life is to have profit and freedom, to be able to woosah in Bermuda, hopefully, but other places. But with that, I found that a lot of us entrepreneurs, and especially women of faith, don't have role models. And I have begun to interview millionaire women who are women of faith to find out their journey, their information. How were they successful, especially in the realm of the faith-based business that they may have. And their business may have nothing to do with faith.
But they're traveling that journey in faith.
Yes, exactly.
And how that impacts what they do and the
how
decisions
they
make and all of that.
Exactly. So like Madam Awashika, thank you, that we met. I've asked her about getting an interview from her, for example. So Mega Millions from a Mega God is what I'm thinking is going to be the book title.
Mega Millions from a Mega God. Okay, now.
Yeah.
And so these are going to be interviews with women who have gained millions.
Yes.
But they are traveling on their own spiritual.
Exactly.
And now, is it going to be different faiths or one
Pretty
specifically?
much Christian faith for the first book.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking this may be more than one.
Yeah.
Because the more I research, the more I find there are more. I never knew some of these women who were millionaires doing well, but they're very humble. They may not put themselves out there. And I'm like, wow, these people need to know.
Yeah.
They need to share. And women who are on the journey need to have role models.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think initially it may be Christian women because that's who I know.
Who you are,
and I have like 10 or 12 women right away that I can interview. And then I want to expand it.
That would be great because I think for me, the importance would be not just because you're Christian, but it's what is that guiding thing that helps you to put down your morals or the things that you will and will not do.
Exactly.
Right?
That line in the sand.
Yes. And how does that impact your business and how you govern yourself, how you treat your clients, all of that. And then why is that important?
Right. Right. And how does it guide your life as well as your business?
Yeah.
Because they're intertwined.
Yeah.
And I find so often, because all of my clients know I'm a person of faith. It may not have started out like that, but they know eventually because there's certain things that they'll find out I do and don't do, won't and won't do, and you will and won't do if you're going to be my client.
Exactly. Okay.
And that's just how I operate. And I have found that that's the case for these women. And some of them have had to make some significant stands. Madam Awosika mentioned about being in the boardroom and certain things she would or wouldn't do, and this is who I am.
Yeah.
And we have to be comfortable in that skin.
Yeah.
And that's what I've found, that a lot of us shy back from things and sometimes will compromise because we're in a position that we're not quite sure.
Yeah.
And sometimes if the money is like, this is paying my bills, instead of saying, you know what, God is going to work that out.
Yeah.
Or my whoever I pray to, whatever. But for me, God is going to work that out. I don't have to do that, but I stand on this.
Right.
And he works it out every single time.
Yeah.
And that's what I have found from these women I've interviewed so far. So I'm excited.
And I know. What's your estimated time of arrival? When do you think?
I'm looking at 2025. I'm looking at early 2025. So I'm trying to get all the interviews done within the next couple of months so we can do the editing and all that kind of stuff by the end of the year and release hopefully January.
That's exciting. The plan. And where can people find your other book, Profit Freedom?
They can find it right now. It's on my website. It is on Amazon, but it's very expensive on Amazon intentionally because I want people to come to me.
You.
Yes. Yeah. So it's fusion4business.com.
Okay. All right. Yes. Driving traffic. I see you. So since you've been in the incubator or the accelerator program, have you seen a drastic change in your business and maybe how you think about your business?
I will say I've seen a change in a couple ways. And I don't know if I will say drastic, but yes, because I have definitely begun looking more at the people that are working with me and the standard operating procedures that we need to make sure are in place because I was working on things, but it's like, okay, got to get that done. Because in order to scale, if I'm going to replicate myself, replicate them. And so that has made me think differently about that. I'm now thinking about how I'm expanding the fusion side of things.
Right.
And some things are in process, so I can't talk about them yet, but they are.
As long as you agree to come back and give us an update.
I will, because hopefully 2025 is going to be some different things for fusion as well. I'm really excited. So I've been having some meetings. So it's made me look for the opportunities. And I have a coach that said when you're looking for opportunities, you'll see them. You rise your head above the fray and you see things that you wouldn't have seen if you weren't in that place to even look.
Okay.
And so it has made me recognize that I've known I can't do it all myself, but I wasn't thinking about how I wasn't going to do it all myself until this course has made me think about some other things. And especially with now Life, Ladies in Faith and Enterprise, and Rejoice, I've definitely gotten much more clarity on how I'm going to move forward with those, and those are starting to move forward. I'm going to a conference next month, because it's June now. Next month I'm going to be marketing Rejoice Experiences, and I'm just so
Okay.
excited because I know it's like a 6,000 people conference, and I
Yeah,
only
so you
need
know,
20
look,
people
I know
for the
that's
conference.
right.
So
It's
I'm
like, I only need this percentage.
exactly,
And it's a success.
and so
yeah.
yes, yep. So I'm very excited about what's next, and so, but I definitely think that it's helped me to look at down the road
Right.
instead of what's right in front of me.
Yeah.
And that's helping me to kind of reverse engineer. So yeah.
I think that's important. And you mentioned Madam Awashika. And what I found at the conference is how she kept encouraging people to delegate. And I think
Yes.
when you're looking at growing and scaling your business up, like you said,
Yes.
you can't do it all. It's just one of you.
Exactly.
And so you want to position yourself or position your business where you can kind of replicate and say, okay, you do this piece, and then you can focus on the thing that you really enjoy doing and love.
And that's where I'm wanting to move, and that's where I am moving is the heart work.
Yes.
What I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm really excited about, that the accelerator has helped me move there.
Okay.
And really think about that. And someone I was interviewing reminded me or said to me, which was similar to, I think, what the class said as well. Growing, your business is growing.
Yes.
Scaling, your business is growing, but it's not dependent upon you.
Right.
And that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be scaling because
Okay,
I want the
now.
business to grow, but not be dependent on
Right.
me, so that I have other people that I delegate
have
to.
the freedom.
And yes,
You have the freedom.
exactly.
So let's bring it to a close. 30 minutes goes
Sure.
fast,
Yes, it
right?
does.
Look. So if you could share any words of encouragement or inspiration to other women who are considering starting a business, what would you say to them?
I would say do what you love and don't be afraid and don't try to be perfect.
Right.
That was something I think even as an accountant, accuracy,
Yes.
numbers everything has to match. Everything has to be perfect. It doesn't have to be.
Okay.
Start where you are and just start.
Right.
Have good people around you. Having a tribe is so important. And so, because I have an acronym I use in my book, so BEST, believe in yourself. Make sure you know you can do it. And so E, educate yourself. Always have people around, coach, mentor. Stick to it. Do not give up. So BEST, believe, educate, stick to it. And then T, have a team and a tribe.
Okay.
A great group of people around you who will support you and encourage you and not let you give up
Okay.
on your dream.
I love that. Well, Joyce, tell us how to get in touch with you, how to get that book, so we can get the other information, the other jewels of wisdom.
Yes.
And then if people are interested in reaching out to you for support, how can they do that?
Awesome. Well, Fusion4, the number 4 business.com, and actually my from the incubator or the accelerator, I'm doing a new website, so that'll be out the end of this month, but it's still there, fusion4business.com, and then Joyce at fusion4business.com.
Okay.
So, and I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook, primarily LinkedIn and Facebook. So I have an Instagram, but I don't communicate on that yet as much.
Yeah.
But I will be getting back onto that more so. But so Facebook, Joyce Chesley Hayward, and plus Fusion for Business on both LinkedIn and Facebook. I have business pages on both, and then Joyce Chesley Hayward as well on LinkedIn.
All right. Well, thank you so much for minding your business with us. And remember, if you don't mind your business, who will?
Who will? Thank you so much, Jamillah, and
You're
thank you,
welcome.
BEDC.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in to Mind Your Business with me, your host, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in next week, Thursday at 4 p.m. because if you don't mind your business, who will? Mind Your Business is brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.